I've been going a little old school lately. I took a couple of NES games and I just wanted to see if certain things still hold up today, you know? Gameplay, controls, story, and of course, graphics. Personally, I think everything besides graphics matter more in a video game, but that's just my opinion. There's this ongoing debate about gameplay versus graphics. People are drawn to really great looking video games. You know, stuff with visually compelling scenery, beautiful textures, and attractive character design. Like, yeah, that kind of overshadowed things a little. Like, sure, 3D Dot Game Heroes has just about everything you could want in a video game, but Persona 5 has everything you could want and cute anime characters. So who's the real winner?
Among all of the other elements that go into creating a video game, one factor that the casual audience is more likely to notice is character design. In the early days of gaming, this didn't really matter too much. Graphics were primitive and pixelated, but that was part of the charm for that era. However, as time went on and games started to get more realistic, it became clear that there needed to be an emphasis on your character's overall look. Take Nintendo and Sega for instance. They had two characters that led their companies during the console wars of the 1990s. On one side we had Nintendo Super Mario, who always had a reputation of being the kid-friendly side of gaming. On the other end of things stood Sega's brand new mascot, a witty blue hedgehog with a cool new attitude. Sonic the Hedgehog was designed specifically to compete with Mario, to which Sega succeeded. To this day, Sonic remains a household name. But you know what else remains a household name? Sexy. Yeah, Sonic, Mario, Pac-Man, iconic for sure, and not to discredit any of them, but they're not hot characters. Well, to each their own. I'm sure there's fan fictions and drawings of these three somewhere out there.
But the point is, cartoony gets a little boring. Graphics are getting better, which means the girls that I can't have in real life have to find their way into my bedroom somehow, right? This'll do. So here's the deal. I went on the internet and I looked up what fans say are the most attractive video game characters. I saw a few lists and there were a lot of repeats, so this gives me a pretty good estimate of what all you sickos out there were thinking. Also, I can't talk about everyone, trust me. As much as I'd love to talk about Linda from Custom Robo, life isn't always fair.
Alright, let's start with a bang. Through the years, Final Fantasy has become pretty synonymous with having so many attractive characters. While we have plenty of games to choose from, the most iconic of the bunch reside in Final Fantasy VII. Okay, now I understand the original Final Fantasy VII isn't the most beautiful looking thing, but never fear, the future is here, and it's pretty nice. April 10th, 2020 saw the release of the long-awaited Final Fantasy VII Remake, and with that came a massive upgrade and the fans. Just about everyone in this game is designed to be gorgeous, but the main people include Cloud, Aerith, Sephiroth, and Tifa. Starting with Cloud, well, he's got hair and eyes. Nah, for real though, Cloud has an iconic look. Even if you're not a fan of the series, it's pretty likely you've seen him before. He's got that standout spiky anime boy hair and the Buster Sword. Except, I'm gonna have to deduct some points for no drip. I mean, the turtleneck with no sleeves? Although he's got a seemingly simple design, it's still pretty impactful. As soon as you see Cloud, you can just tell that he's the hero.
The same can be said about others, like Aerith. I have to go to the bathroom.
Again, this is one of my favorite character designs because you can just tell that Aerith is one of those sweet and compassionate personalities who is also kind of mysterious at the same time. Everything from her innocent glare to the big pink bow and flowy dress is all down to a T. And hats off to the design team. They get it. In contrast to this, Tifa Lockhart is not a damsel in distress. Despite her shy personality type, Tifa ain't afraid to start throwing hands, and that's just hot, isn't it? Nah, I'm pretty sure it's the skirt. Fun fact, because the internet is spoiled, when Tifa's design was updated for Final Fantasy VII Remake, there was outrage among fans. Well, I wouldn't say fans, more like observers. Designers opted to give Tifa a sports bra in order to restrict her chest and give her a more athletic feel, since she is a fighter after all. But nope! This almost ruined the game for some people, because Final Fantasy needs to be jiggly! Okay, let's move on. Dude, Sephiroth is such a cool villain, ladies love him, and men wanna be him. And men love him too. Yeah, Sephiroth got an upgrade for Final Fantasy VII Remake, but personally, my favorite Sephiroth model is in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and that is where it's at. Like, look, he's got one wing, a sinister smirk, and everything about him is literally pointy. His nose, his chin, his hair, don't even get me started on his alternate costume that shattered the internet. This man eats his Wheaties. Capcom's Resident Evil is a great survival horror franchise, which is kind of funny since their characters just reek of sex appeal. I don't think this meant to be the case, it just sorta happened. And nice. Capcom definitely took full advantage of the graphical upgrades. I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit and start with Resident Evil 4. By this time, the series had a much better look than previous entries. The game's protagonist, Leon Kennedy, for example, continues to be a fan favorite, who just like Cloud Strife has that whole boyish, confident charm that fans adore. Also, Resident Evil 4 has Leon deliver some of the best one-liners of any video game character ever.
Where's everyone going? Bingo?
I've been expecting you, my brethren.
No thanks, bro.
No way, Leon.
Way. Women.
Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine are easily the series' most popular characters, so of course they gotta be good looking, right? Chris Redfield is your typical brave, tough guy, muscles marinara who can punch boulders out of his way because he's Chris Redfield. Jill, on the other hand, I mean, she cute or whatever. On one side, we have Jill Valentine in her iconic STARS uniform. And then we have her in her much more confident Resident Evil 3 design, which leads me to believe that the internet just loves tough women. Or revealing clothing, I don't know, that's up to you to decide. Now look, pretty much everyone in Resident Evil is over the top, especially when you start to factor in alternate costumes. I mean, for a survival horror game, Ashley Graham and Sheva Alomar really don't need this, but it's here, and I'm not gonna be the one to take away Capcom's good deed. Speaking of good deeds, Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil Village shattered the internet for obvious reasons. I mean, do I have to go on? This shows that even new characters can still make an impact. I mean, Lady Dimitrescu made a huge impact, a large impact, a giant impact, a gargantuan impact. It's insane. It's probably her personality or her skin. I mean, it's a little ashy, but you know, she gets a pass.
So what's the story so far? Well, we have a pretty good idea as to what the internet defines as hot. And I have to start playing more Resident Evil, you know what I'm saying? Also, again, sorry I can't talk about all your favorite video game characters. So here's a big old list of honorable mentions. This has actually been a lot of fun, to my surprise. Sometimes it's pretty great to talk about attractive people that aren't even real. Anyways, let's get down to business. There are two characters in particular that the internet thinks is the absolute hottest among every single piece of electronic butt out there. Drumroll, please.
Link from The Legend of Zelda is widely considered to be the most attractive male video game character of all time. Why? I have no idea, but let's try to break it down. The Legend of Zelda made its debut on February 21st, 1986, and since then, Link has had a few different designs, but he's always maintained his signature green cap, green tunic, elf boy look. I'd say it was around the Nintendo 64 era art style that Link finally settled on a design that really resonated with fans. Of course, one generation later, we'd be introduced to Toon Link, a little more of a cutesy design that was either a hit or miss with gamers at the time. With that said, his design would remain the same for a long time until March 3rd, 2017, when The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild introduced the Nintendo Switch, as well as a brand new design for our favorite Hylian hero. Link would now lose the cap and sport a brand new blue tunic, which is pretty cool. I think everyone is a fan of this design, but whether Link is blue or green or red, it really doesn't matter. People continue to fall in love with Link for either his looks or his awkward charm as the silent protagonist we've all come to adore. And here we have it, the final entrant on this list. Lara Croft from the Tomb Raider series is without a doubt regarded as not only the most attractive female character of all time, but as one of the most influential video game characters ever. Lara Croft stunned audiences in 1996 with her strong female presence, which wasn't new, but it was definitely much more in your face, if that makes sense. Now, years before this, we had Samus Aran from the Metroid series, who also took on the lead role as a female protagonist, but to be fair, Samus is almost always covered up and shown off in her powered suit. On the contrary, Lara was designed to be seen as a badass and tough heroine with 3 to 5 tablespoons of sex appeal. And just like everyone else on this list, Croft had her share of odd designs before finally being upgraded. In the original PlayStation 1, Lara Croft suffered from the whole infamous ice cream cone chest thing.
That'll be 2 scoops, please.
Compared to her curvy, really curvy 3D renders of the 1990s, it's kinda wild to see how far we've come with technology. As of late, Lara Croft no longer wears the low-cut shorts and has switched to full-on pants that looks more like a hunter rather than the archaeologist she is. But, I mean, honestly though, neither of these outfits have big archaeologist vibes, but that's besides the point. Lara Croft made her mark in gaming history, and if there's one thing that screams sexy, it's a trailblazer.
And that's kind of it. Now look, before you start calling me disgusting and a pervert and all those other things, let's try to look at things my way, okay? I'm a character design analyst and specialist. It's my job to compare and stare at electronic chest pillows. Professionally. Now would you please leave me alone? I got things to do. I got work that needs to be done. Look, I ordered a body pillow of Aerith, and now it's my job to analyze the fluff out of it. Be grateful, guys. Taking one for the team here.